We got Charlie Stramel, Minnesota boy, unfortunately playing for the Badgers, but is what it is. And I mean, Z, do you want to speak out against some of the slander and some of the people that were saying not so nice things about Mr. Charlie Stramel?
Yeah, and I mean, I think like the difference in the reaction to the Stramel pick, it wasn't like they were. I feel like the reaction wasn't directed at him, more so at like Judd and Bill. I mean, you saw my reaction on live stream. I mean, like there were definitely players there that I would have taken before Stramel, but what have we been saying about like who do you think like who they're going to be targeting in the 2023 draft class? They're probably going to be looking to address areas in their prospect pool that are lacking, which is big centers with size, physicality that aren't necessarily maybe like skill isn't there, or like the offensive upside isn't necessarily like the main like pull there. But
sure,
Stramel had the year that he had, which was horrible, just like Wisconsin. Like he ultimately had like his season was a reflection of the University of Wisconsin, and it was not good. But this time last year, consensus top 15 pick because he has the size. He also uses his size, by the way, and he's smart about using his size. When he does like he has that quick wick where he will do like stupid like kill somebody, put them through the glass. But there is a little bit of upside there. Like he has good hands. He's got good sense around the net. I mean, you're not nudging him anywhere, but he, in totality, just with Stramel and the rest of the draft class, like they addressed the areas of need in their prospect pool. And when I first started doing this specific like show, this podcast, one of the first things I said about the Wild prospect pool is like, yeah, there are like the super high end guys, but it's a prospect pool that's so good because it's like diverse, where you've got different kinds of prospects in every area, where you've got guys like Adam Beckman, who is his like a 40 goal scoring winger potential. You've got Marco Rossi, who's an elite number one center potential, two-way game. It's like guys like that up and down, like that prospect pool. The one thing that you could say they're missing is like, the big centers who play like a more conservative, not necessarily as flashy game. Again, I'm not saying that the way that they ended up picking the guys that they took are guys that I would have taken there, but in totality, did the prospect pool get better? Oh yeah, like it for sure did. Like they did the thing that like everyone says you're not supposed to do, and like what need kind of.
That was gonna be my big thing, right? Because I think that's what threw a lot of people off. I mean, me personally, again, I was already so emotionally unstable from the Pittsburgh kerfuffle, and I was just very shocked to see Stramel pop up. Again, you had talked about him several times leading up to the draft, and like a player that I'm not at all bothered that the Wild picked up. But it felt like they've always preached like, hey, we only take need if there's like a tie, right? Mm-hmm. And this felt like they drafted need rather than best player available. And I think that's what, on top of people thinking that the Wild had some birthright to Oliver Moore, like all of that kind of came together into just an absolute cluster. So I don't know. But again, end of the day, I probably seemed like I was pissed off. I did come around at the end in our stream and say like, hey, I am not mad about this pick. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, and again, so like that's where I ultimately probably landed. And it's funny again because we were just talking about like, hey, for months now we were like, who are they going to target? Like what mold of player? And we did say the big center, but I'm pretty sure one of the very first shows that we started doing that, I was like, I think he'll be gone by then, but I would imagine that if somehow Stramel was there at 21, that's a guy that they would probably be targeting. And again, he just like the year it was what it was. That's a great Sean Cosgrove coming in again. Not wrong. But we'll see. I mean, so this is going to be a huge season, obviously, not just for Stramel, but anyone at the University of Wisconsin. They've got a couple of solid prospects coming in too. Like Will Whitelaw is going to be there. Another Columbus guy. There you go. They had themselves a nice day too. Yeah, Hastings, we'll see. Well, if you don't have your AARP card, then you might not play. So, we'll find out. But this will obviously be a huge year for like the program. But like a guy like Stramel, who, had all the, upside in the world coming in, and then the season was what it was. So were there other players that I would and still would have taken, like right now sitting in front of you? I would have, yeah, I still would have taken a kid like, Quentin Musty, who, if he wasn't like a winger, I would imagine that's a guy that's checking every box that the Wild were looking for. I mean,
who did he get paired with?
What's that?
Who did he get paired with?
Who did he get paired with?
Up, wasn't it?
What?
That he went to San Jose, right?
Yeah.
Dude, imagine him and Will Smith long term. Hello.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How are you?
Ooh, that's
Keep the change. Thank you. Yeah. They kind of struck gold with like a couple. Again, like I would have gone Mitchkov at 4, but a couple of guys just like fell into their lap, like a Luca Cagnoni. I think they got like the 4th, 5th round.
That's right.
A couple of guys just fell into their lap. Yeah. Exactly. But. And even like, so John just said draft looked better with a hype pickup sleeper. Yeah. Like, and just transitioning, just like the draft class as a whole, like with the first 3 picks that they had, if you just told me that they got height at 21, Stramel at, was it 53?
54, I think.
53, 54, whatever it was. And then Kumpalainen at 64. I'd be like, yeah, that's, yep. Like, it would have been no complaints. Like, I'd be like, yeah, that's great. So again, it's just like the fact that it went the order it did, and again, like, so in the big knock against it's going to be the guys that they opted to take Stramel over. But listen, the prospect pool got better as a whole. They addressed a lot of areas. And the guys they picked up, I think there's still legit upside in the guys that they did take that you'd probably call a reach right now. So